All right, good people, we are back for a very special edition of The Grands. It's myself, Greg, and
Chandrika.
we're here today and we want to talk about this movie that has just recently made waves all over the internet and over Prime Video called Relationship Goals.
Hmm.
It was a very, I think it was a very good movie.
I loved it.
It was what they call a rom-com, which is a romantic comedy featuring my girl, don't get jealous, Kelly Rowland,
Oh gosh,
and my
my
homeboy
girl.
Method Man. You know what I'm saying? Based off the critically acclaimed book Relationship Goals by Pastor Michael Todd from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes.
So the movie kind of takes place, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It hit on a lot of different subjects,
Hmm.
and it really made you think about different approaches to how you enter this dating world per se.
Hmm.
So what we're going to do this episode is we're going to kind of take some little steps and we're going to dissect that movie and see how it relates. And you tell us what you think. Hopefully in the comments and while you're subscribing to us. And let us know what you think about this movie. Maybe you can go and check it out and make them some money or something. But hey, go check it out. So, Bay, tell me what you think about it.
And so of course, spoiler alert. So if you haven't watched the movie,
Don't watch
pause,
this. Don't watch this first.
because we're gonna kill it for you. Um, so overall, I think the movie was good.
Hmm.
It had its funny moments. It had its points. It had three characters having three different relationship stories, and they dived into all of them. Now, you know, some may say that, how would you say it, that you kind of knew what was coming.
I did.
But it was still a feel good movie, and it still was, good. And I love,
It
my
made
girl
me feel.
Kelly.
It made me feel really good.
So it was good. So you want to give like a brief summary?
I mean, I just no. I want to talk about the movie.
Okay, but
But what the summary is, the movie is about these two people who had history.
hmm
Basically, they used to smash, right? They was
they
dating.
were dating.
But you
It
do you
wasn't
do you
just a
do, do
smash.
you not smash when you're dating?
She fell in love with the Method Man's character, and in
He
their
cheated,
past,
of
and he
course.
cheated. Well, we don't have to say of
Oh my
course,
God, just
but
broke her heart.
typical guy cheat movie.
Women
and
cheat.
and I said typical.
Black men don't cheat.
and um and then they come back together, they cross roads again, um going for the same job position, and they have to work together, and they find out that there's still feelings, and he still want her, and she's trying to fight it, and at the end, love wins. So that was the main character story, Kelly's story. Of course, you have the other two women, and going through their own relationship story.
One just getting ran through like a
Well,
washing machine, and
it
like in
don't
the she be
necessarily.
swiping away on this little Tinder app, and then she coming with these rules thinking she's Steve Harvey reading this damn book, right? And these dudes like, I gotta go to the bathroom and don't never come back because I'm like, bro, ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? It's 2026. And then the other chick just was just
Well, context, pause, context to the one he was just talking about. She had her relationship story. She was a single young woman, and
ready to mingle.
yes, ready to mingle, and just swiping. Is it left if you want
I
them?
don't know. I was never on
Just
Tinder.
swiping, I guess left. I don't know. On all the guys she thought was cute, and in this and that, and all this kind of stuff. And instead of thinking about reading maybe their profile, or thinking, okay, would we be a good match per se, instead of just on looks.
So you think we would be a good match?
Of course, baby.
What?
And then, okay, the third girl.
Oh, I guess it's back to me now. So the other little chick was dating this baller, and he was retiring, right?
He was retiring.
But he they were in a relationship, but she was wanting more
A
from
proposal.
him. Ain't that what y'all always know?
Of course.
But I think he was more focused on his career
He-
and didn't value her as a person in
at
the
all.
relationship until she
He
decided to take her power back,
till he lost her.
cut the coochie off, and then she left. And then he like, damn, who gonna wash my drawers?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so her story was, more not even more typical. I think all three stories, different people can relate to different ones, but yeah, her story was she was waiting for the ring. It doesn't say how long they were together, but you can tell it was time, they was in a relationship so long that they were labeled a power couple. They had, you know,
She was a news anchor on this show.
yeah, and so she had her own, thing going, but they had deals together as a couple, so you can tell that they had a long time, relationship. And so, but yeah, he was definitely taking her for granted and taking her position in the relationship for granted and not giving her what she wanted. But also in the movie, I'm glad that you touched on it, that she didn't necessarily communicate what she wanted. She just kind of sat back and accepted what he was giving her and where he was placing her for the moment.
She put too much expectations on the man, thinking that he was gonna read that big ass head of hers and read her mind and be like, "Hey, I think it's time for me to marry you." If you don't give a man, something to go off of, a little push, some men need that little, a little nudge or whatever
Seriously.
to knock them out of their little days. Because I'm telling you, if they in a good little space, they're having fun, everything is working well.
Hmm.
Why change? And I
True.
think that's kind of where he was.
He
But
actually said that in the movie.
you
He was
know,
like, everything was good until you read this book.
right? And I mean, I
So,
have disclaimer. I have not read the book, but they did touch on a lot of different things. Like I really feel like people should redirect their aim and focus on what they're looking for. And that was like with the single girl. She had to kind of redirect her aim as to what she was looking for in a man or in a husband, and not just taking whatever
the
she can get.
cuties, you
You know,
know? And actually, at the end of it all, with her, the single one, she kind of like just kind of set in her singleness and was like, "I'm gonna be okay with this for now," even though they kind of hinted at a guy who was taking interest in her and was probably going to get enough nerve to kind of like say something to her eventually in the near
but you know what?
future.
But I think the thing that we're missing here is that what was hurting Kelly's character is that she had this list that was a million pages long.
Ooh, the list.
And so I
We
think
all
that
have it.
that that hurts women a lot because you have this list of these expectations that are just astronomical. There's just like ain't nobody gonna goddamn check out everything. If you got 100 check marks on the list, and you got one man that you're trying to find that's gonna meet all these check marks. And they made something very a point very clear. She like he has to be between 6 foot
In
and
six
6'4".
four.
He can't be basketball tall, but he can't be, what I'm saying, like baseball short. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, so he got to be right here in this little
Mm-hmm.
window because he got to be just enough. When I put my heels on, I'm here. When I take my heels off, I'm here, and then I don't have to look up. My neck don't hurt because I don't have to go up this. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know. And then it was just a little stupid thing, and then that's why she was having problems finding men because nobody's going to check off all these things on this box on this list when you need to look at the soul of a man. That's why I had to get close to. You know what I'm saying? You got to look deep. You got to throw the list away. I mean, you got to have standards. There's a difference between a
Yes.
list of expectations and standards. It's a difference.
Yes.
So it's okay to have standards and knowing what you will and will not accept from a man.
Mm-hmm.
But Thompson, he got to have all his teeth, but only one baby teeth. He got to make 6 figures, and he got to have good just okay. Some of the non-negotiable. Good hygiene. That's important. Okay, so yeah, that can be on your list because that's something every person has. But talking about he got to make this. Do he love you? Do he treat you right? You know what I'm saying? Do he talk to you like he's supposed to talk to you? Those are the things that matter. Not what's in the bank account, but can he do what you need him to do with what he's doing? Does he go to work every day, or does he sit on the couch and hope that somebody gonna call him, even though he didn't put in the application? You see what I'm saying? You got to take the good, and you have to. As one of my favorite, female singers, K. Michelle, would say, you got to build you a man. You can't just think the man gonna come ready made,
Yes.
and that's
Um.
that's what a good woman does.
Yeah, because like I knew. I mean, I didn't have a list. I have, like he said, standards. I had standards. I had standards,
She had a
like,
Santa Claus.
you know, like he has to be faithful. I want somebody who's gonna have the ability to be faithful.
Black men don't cheat.
Somebody who's gonna treat me like I treat me.
Like a queen.
Amen.
Amen. Come on now.
And so, so different things like that. But I knew somebody who was like, he had to be able to know how to dress. I'm like, you can do that for him. I'm like, that is not something that he has to have.
Because all I do is put on clothes. I don't really give a damn as long as it fit. It look good. But you know what? Please believe I'm gonna give my bae, but this is my bae, the credit that she do. Y'all see how we be coming in these damn videos on point.
Oh my
And that's
God.
all because of this beautiful woman right here. You know what I'm saying? If it was up to me, we'd be up to him with some damn overalls with no shirt on.
Okay, no.
Like, for real. So it's always good to find someone who compliments you.
That's it. That's
Compliments you.
it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we was having this discussion just the other night. You know what I'm saying? Like, Teddy P was saying, you can have that 50-50, you can have that 70-30, that 60-40, but you need to find somebody who's going to help you match your 100%. So if y'all the two together make 100, it don't matter who bring what. You know what I'm saying? You help that person, and then you know what? As the relationship progresses, y'all might get to a point where that person comes up to match your 70, and you can kind of do a little bit less and come down to, like, what I'm saying, 65.
That is not 100.
55, 45. You know what I'm saying? They
That's,
boost their numbers. You can kind of lower yours, and y'all can still come at to be a cohesive unit and be 100.
yes.
If y'all feel what I'm saying.
And the thing is, the 100% is gonna it have different sectors, like, he may be doing 70 financially and you doing 30, but with something else you may be doing 70 and he's doing 30. So it's gonna all come together though.
If you're working together.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
so that's the premise of this movie, is that what you got to throw sometimes the list out the window.
not standards list. It just okay.
And really look for love, look for companionship. And sometimes the person that you're looking for, that you're wanting, and that you need to be with, is like right in front of you. Did y'all say I did that? Like, bam, or right beside you. Like, you could be rubbing elbows every day and you don't even know it. Like, man, that's my person. She didn't think I was her person at first, but guess what? Now she can't goddamn get rid of me. She's just like, oh my god, like, whenever you're away from me, I'm just like sick. I can't
Yeah.
get out of the bed because I'm just, just that kind of guy. So tell me this,
Yes.
if you had to do it again, let's touch on like the pastor, and
Mm,
so Pastor Michael Ty is actually in the movie, and he has he did a sermon, an 8-part sermon series on
mm,
this whole topic. That's what the book derived from. And so, he made it more spiritual and made it more about the church per se when it's dealing with, relationships, which, you can believe that or not. But I'm actually, you know, going to take the time one day, not today, and actually watch his 8-part series, because he actually did the sermon actually like 8-9 years ago.
mm.
And then somebody kind of picked it up and turned it into a book, and now we have this wonderful romantic comedy called Relationship Goals, where it came out of. But it speaks on a lot of different things, and it's not just totally geared to women, because in Method Man's character, he had actually read the book and got more in tune with himself
Mm-hmm.
took accountability for the things that he did, like cheating on her and realizing that he messed up a good thing,
Mhm.
and then he's trying to come back to make it right.
Mhm.
And once he realized that she was his person, he did that. He did the work, like oh, Ayana Van Zandt, beloved. He did the work to come back, and you know
Mhm.
what? Once she finally opened up her heart and kind of let go of the past and realized that you know what, as much as I can't stand this motherfucker, he is my person. And you know what? They end up smashing again, and boom, she was like, she
Seriously.
was back.
Um,
She was back.
and and I want to touch on
Touch it.
Jesus Christ. I want to touch on how when when a guy loves you, he show up in big ways. He make big grand gestures, not like,
Like Valentine.
a thousand, white doves and coming out of, but like she gave him a suggestion that she was just kind of playing, if you love me or whatever. I can't remember how she did it, but said it, you would quit this job. And so at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, he wound up quitting and letting her have the position,
To give you
without.
some context, they were up for the same position.
Yes, so they were kind of competing for the same position. And she thought she had it in the bag, but then she had to compete with him, a former, lover or whatever. And so, but at the end, towards the end of the movie, he forfeited, he gave it up for her, and he let her know, he was giving up for her. And so he made that grand, huge, big gesture. That's huge. I mean, some may say, oh, that's just movies. But
Would you give up your job for me?
what?
See?
No, I don't. I mean, context. Where's the
Would you give
context?
up, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Me and
God.
you know what I'm saying, sitting around here and we sitting at the job and I'm like, babe, I know I'm knocking you down every night and I love you, but you know I'm the better fit for this job. I need you to take your name out the hat and I need to have it. Would you take your name out the hat or would you keep trying to fight me for this job knowing that the money still gonna come back to the same place, but I'm just gonna have the title and you gonna work
Oh
for me?
yeah. Put a ring on it. Shh, give him that last
See,
name. He got that
nigga, no, we not doing
job.
that because you
Baby,
know
I
what?
will.
There's no fraternize. They don't even know we together.
I need security. But yeah, I would definitely do that for you. But
She
I
just
can't
saying that
just
for the
give it
video.
up and then possibly not have you or the job.
I
But
mean, if you looking like this with these lips, girl, you gonna have all the jobs.
anyways, but he did that grand gesture and that was beautiful, and but it
It
is,
showed
that
her.
is real. That is not like movies, like that particular instant, but like, he did a grand gesture for me, and it showed me,
Grand fucking gesture.
like, okay, he not playing. you know
Like cow jumped over the moon type gesture.
and so that stuff is real. So, um real love is out there. um Guys that do the real things, the hard things, are out there. So I say, if you take away anything from this, because yes, it's a rom-com, it's all gonna, end with, everybody's happy and, everything like that. The girl, of course, the guy who was,
Everybody gets their man.
everybody gets their man. Kelly gets her man, the other girl gets the ring and
And it was a
married.
hell of a ring.
And so, and it always don't work out like that, of course. Sometimes you may have to leave a guy and somebody else may have to, do what he didn't do, you know?
But
Um,
eventually, that guy that they get with gonna die, and then y'all gonna get back together eventually. You just gotta wait your turn.
what in the world? What?
Sometimes that happens, you know. Sometimes you're not the first person they marry. You know what I'm saying? You the second, but you was the first there initially. But they didn't see it, and they married this other person, and then that person died or some crazy happened, and next thing you know,
Why?
now they're available, and then you break up with your person,
Why?
and you're available, and y'all run into each other in Walmart like, hey, you, and y'all just rebuild and rekindle, and bam, y'all married and happy ending.
I mean, things happen like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I mean, my basket ran into her basket one time. I was like, oh my God, it's you.
Wait, what?
Remember our basket collided in Walmart that time when I seen you? I was like, I seen them lips. I know them lips anywhere.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Right?
and I was not on board yet. I was just like, okay, where can I go? How can I hide? No,
Like,
where can
don't you want to buy my lemon juice?
no. But I say go watch it if you haven't watched it, or we kind of spoiled it for you if you haven't. But we are going to do a video on the book once we get it and read it. We're gonna do that because I definitely want to read the book now. I'm interested, and may do one on the series once we watch the series. So, but
But the series about church, so
yeah. Oh, and before we let them go, kind of
okay.
hit on that part. The church part in the movie, it wasn't over the top, but some of the lines I was just like cringe. When because it's like it started off like normal. The girls, the ladies wasn't like churchy and stuff like that. But once they read this book, they were like, "Oh, I need to pray on it now," and "Oh, I need to ask God how it, which is cool."
And they went to his church just to make sure he wasn't no fraud. But it was just they did, have the church cliche. They threw in there. But
Hmm.
so if you're not a very spiritual church person, you're gonna be like it might turn you off from the
Just a
movie.
little bit. It's not overwhelming.
But I mean that's him in a nutshell. His wife
Hmm.
was right there. She didn't say much.
Hmm.
But it's like that's what it was rooted in, spirituality and
Yes.
doing things based off the church, and that's kind of how
God.
Method Man did. He went to church and he met the pastor and he started talking to the pastor, and after he got the book, and it transformed his way of thinking when it came to women and relationships. And it don't
Hmm.
always happen like that because sometimes people don't find what they're looking for in a church or a book or a therapist. Sometimes you have to do the work yourself. And, it all depends on the person. But I mean, we will, I think you should check it out, even if you just like, funny movies, because it has some laughter, it has some,
Yes.
emotional parts, but it has
Yes.
a lot of good meaning,
Hmm.
and a lot of good takeaways you can take into your own relationship, and then you can come and watch us and subscribe to us. Because don't go and watch. Don't do this. Don't watch them and then don't watch us.
Well,
You
they're
see what
already
I'm saying?
watching us.
Well, clearly, if y'all watch us, then you need to watch them. But don't.
Subscribe though.
But don't be no little backseat watcher. Subscribe so we know that you watching. Because I know I see some of y'all watching, but y'all not subscribing. So we need y'all to,
Subscribe.
hit the button.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we appreciate y'all, taking a little rundown, what I'm saying, of this movie.
Yes.
This is our interpretation, or dissecting a very
Hmm.
small dissection of the wonderful movie Relationship Goals. Also, just to point out, this movie was directed by Pastor Devon Franklin, which
Yes.
is, if you don't remember, the ex-husband of my girl Megan Good.
Your girl.
Yeah, yeah, all of them are girls. I grew up
Oh,
on them girls. They were just like my,
yeah.
it was my
Yeah.
like, girl, look at that girl. But okay, yeah, it was old Pastor Franklin, so it was one of his movies. But I mean, it's a good, feel good type of
Yes.
movie,
Yes.
and we're a good feel good type of couple. So what I'm
Mm.
saying, hey, you get the best of both worlds. You get the relationship goal, and then you just get the relationship, and
Real
then
relationship.
and these are goals. This right here,
Yes.
matching outfits, bruh, get that in your goal list. If you want a list, get you a man that's gonna let you wear matching outfits for him.
Let you dress
What? And then you'll get a smile like that. Look at that, ear to ear.
them.
But until next time, please come back and check us out. We are here every week, same time, same station, and that is the Grand Station. So hey, until next time, we'll see y'all. Peace.